Welkom bij de CFO podcast editie SuperNova. Komende dagen gaan we gesprekken voeren met verschillende actoren in het ecosysteem voor u als CFO of Finance Director. Geniet ervan. Matthew.
Hey, Bright. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the CFO podcast edition SuperNova. I'm extremely excited to meet you here, and I wanted to get your perspective on the tech scene in Belgium. But let's take it from the top. Who is Matthew? What's your story?
Yeah, well, thanks. So my name's Matthew Konneh. I live in the UK, based in London. I've been in the biotech pharmaceutical field for many years, training I did my studies at King's College London many years ago. I worked at Novartis in Basel in Switzerland. I did some research in Paris. And lately, in the last sort of 8 years, I've been involved in the venture side of biotech. And I know about the Belgian biotech scene has been thriving over the years.
Absolutely.
Some very interesting companies that's come through. In the past, I've dealt with UCB in Braine-l'Alleud.
Yes.
Also Janssen, J&J in Belgium.
Beersen, by the way. I live in Beersen.
Okay, yeah. So it's a big, and I got an invitation to come to SuperNova to see what's going on, and I've been really impressed with the scene here.
Yeah.
Impressed with the companies I've met and spoken to.
Shifting a bit forward. SuperNova is a tech thing.
That's right.
How do you match that to biotech?
There's that sort of cross-fertility between what's coming through deep tech and it's been used in aspects of healthcare. So we see that quite a lot, and I think I've seen a few examples of businesses that really are at that cutting edge.
Yeah. So double-clicking a bit more on the fund you work for.
Yeah.
In which therapeutic areas are you guys focusing on?
We have a real focus on what we call rare diseases, orphan diseases.
Can you explain that a bit?
So these are diseases which have a small number of incidences of disease, so small patient populations. And the cost of running these studies are probably a lot lower than in chronic studies. And also, once you've marketed the product, you get what we call orphan designation that gives you 7-8 years exclusivity in the marketplace.
So SuperNova, obviously tech, a lot of tech, and looking at what you do you think AI and artificial intelligence, all the tools that are coming up, are going to help speed up the discovery of new molecules?
Yeah, and we can see that becoming used as a tool across the board.
Yes.
Where it's not the preserve of one or two companies, but it's the backbone of how we do drug development.
Sure.
Okay, so that is the future, and it's happening now.
Okay. Can you tell me a bit more about the fund, how you guys work, and in terms of the type of companies that are interesting, I would say?
Yeah. So we like to. It's a fund that focuses on Series A, investments.
So early in the process. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And they need that Series A fund to then show efficacy of the asset. We invest as often as a part of a syndicate, because obviously you need quite a large amount of money.
What tickets are we looking at?
So we're looking at between sort of 2 to up to 2.5 to up to 15 million, for example.
Okay. In the Belgian market, these are quite high tickets,
Yeah, absolutely. I think markets like Belgium, even we see it in the UK, where often the route that they take is to go to the US, and so like in the UK and in Belgium, there are movements to try and keep companies within those territories by having access to a bigger pool of funds, and it's a work in progress, but it's important. Otherwise, we'll lose our most interesting companies to
absolutely. Due to the fact that the US market is so huge, is the single biggest single market, that the funding levels are there's always going to be a funding gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the issues that companies face in Europe is that liquidity in the stock market. You lose know-how, and there are examples of companies in Europe have been able to keep their main champions within Europe, and they're thriving. Denmark is a good example.
Sure.
So, Novo Nordisk and Lundbeck, and the Danish system has managed to retain that company in
That's
Denmark.
wonderful.
And as a result, they have spawned so many other companies where they seeded these companies within both within the Novo Nordisk fund as well as the corporate fund as well as the company. So this is the model where I think Europe should be looking at in such a way that you don't lose your most promising companies, but you keep them and retain them and help them grow to become the next GSK, AZ, Janssen, UCB.
Yes.
And I think it's important that the focus is on retaining companies.
Matthew, I'm so grateful for your time.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Bryce.
Let's keep in touch for the future.
For sure.